Hey everybody, Matt Quinn here at CGC alongside Andy Broom. We're both vice president for CGC Cards, and we have an amazing milestone we hit. So 5 million cards graded. So of that 5 million cards, there's a lot of highlights in those. And we're going to talk to you about some of those highlights alongside some of the cards that we just personally love as well.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, over the last few years, we've seen some amazing cards. We've seen some very unique cards and some favorite cards. Not necessarily the most expensive.
Sure.
You know, we've seen cards not just here in our headquarters in Florida, but in our offices in Munich, the UK, and now, of course, our office in Shanghai. We have the grading event coming up in December, and we'll be at the Macau show as well. So yeah, let's talk about some cards that are cool to you and important to you, and I'll talk about a few that I like.
So when it comes to cards we've graded, Andy, there's one that stands out to me. Personal favorite, I'm a Magic guy, so I love this card, but Alpha Black Lotus graded pristine 10. Yeah, it was a crossover submission, so we cracked it out, evaluated it, and went into our pristine holder. I mean, that card was flawless.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I've seen a few of those in my day, and I got to say that was the nicest I've ever seen.
Oh yeah, I mean that card's well over 7 figures. I mean, a true icon of the hobby. I mean, I just can't stop thinking about that card.
So I'm going to start my list off with a big card. It's the 1952 Topps Mickey Mantle that we graded an 8.
Yeah.
Absolutely beautiful card. Mm-hmm. Of course, an iconic card in our hobby as far as sports cards go. And again, another card, I've graded a few of those in my time.
Yep.
But what was special about this one in particular?
Color, right?
It was the color, it was the surface. You know, when you see cards from original collections, whether they're pre-war, vintage, you know, you see things on cards that you know that are original, right? You get to see an original surface, original condition, things of that nature. And to see this mantle, the surface on it was just immaculate. And if you've ever seen 52 Topps, you know, packed fresh cards, this one was it.
Wow.
Yeah.
No, that's cool when you think about that card. Like if you were just going through a pack, like that's how it would look. You know.
Exactly. That's exactly right.
That's so cool. Yeah. So for my next card, it would have to be a Pokemon card. It would be a base set first edition Charizard, and that graded pristine 10.
Oh.
Yeah, and this was recently too. This was not too long ago. The card came in raw. My graders looked at it. I looked at it. I mean, the card was stunning. I mean, the hollow was beautiful, centered lovely. I mean, the edges and corners are perfect. I mean, absolute powerhouse for Pokemon, that card. It's the most iconic Pokemon card.
Yeah, no doubt. Killer card.
Yeah.
Killer card.
Beautiful card.
So for my number 2 card, it's a monster modern card.
Okay.
And it's one that you would appreciate.
Okay.
It is the holy grail of rookie cards for Tom Brady.
Oh, that's my guy.
It's the 2000 playoff contenders, and it's actually the highest one we've graded. It was graded a mint 9. And as you know, and I'm sure many people know that this card is A, it's very condition sensitive. B, counterfeiting's an issue.
Oh, yeah.
And then C, alterations, including autograph alterations, huge problem with this card. And you know, obviously know the price of these things, but to see one that's original, it's untouched, it's not messed with, it looks how it's supposed to look, and get a mint 9 on it, it's just an iconic card.
No, that's great. I mean, Tom Brady is the GOAT in my mind. You know, I'm a New England fan myself, but what a card. I mean, that card is the Halo card when you think about rare modern cards. For number 3, I'll pick a personal favorite of mine. It's actually an Alpha Force of Nature. So this card is my favorite card personally growing up with Magic. You know, I always aspired to have as many as I could. I actually probably about 4,000 of them, you know, all the revised ones, unlimited ones, but I've been accumulating them the last 20 years. But I actually have one with me here. Here it is. It is the pristine 10, Alpha Force of Nature. So this card is very easily distinguishably noticed. It has the 4 Gs here in the mana cost for the upkeep, and in the beta version they corrected that to have the mana symbols. But this card in pristine 10, any alpha rare for that matter, is incredibly difficult to attain. So great centering here, beautiful corners, edges, surface, the whole 9. I mean, just a beautiful, beautiful force of nature in pristine 10.
Yeah, I mean, look, we talk about condition sensitivity, you know, like the Tom Brady. Another classic example of, you know, it's really tough to get high grades on these cards.
Oh yeah, Alpha Magic, incredibly difficult. Some of them almost impossible because of the printing defects. Yep.
Well, my next card is a big card if you're a Jordan collector.
Okay.
And we're talking about our 5 millionth card graded. This one was actually the 1 millionth sports card graded. It was the 97-98 UD3 season ticket autograph Michael Jordan card. And, you know, aside from being a very marquee Jordan autograph card, it has some other special things about it as well. I mean, it's definitely one of the first Upper Deck autograph sets put out.
Okay.
Of course, that year, you know, that's last year Jordan was with the Bulls, his last championship. So it's got so much going on with it. But, you know, there's a little bit of mystery to these cards as well. So, you know, originally there were supposed to be 10 cards, 10 auto cards in the subset. And they were supposed to be redemptions. And apparently only 4 players returned the cards signed. And so, you know, some were packed out, some were through redemption. And so supposedly it's thought that, you know, these are one in like every 12,000 packs you could pull one. So a very tough Jordan autograph. The other thing about these is, you know, 97, 98, a few years ago, right? And so we'll see these that are faded. The autographs are faded. Just to see one with the nice original autograph on it, really tough. And again, a very condition-sensitive card. And then it's very prone to alterations and counterfeiting. The autographs, as I said, would fade. And so they were easily wiped off of these. And then you'd see a different type of Jordan signature on there, different pen, different thickness in the autograph. And so to see one in hand that is unaltered and original, it's a very special card.
No, that's pretty cool. Along with the Tom Brady, who's the GOAT, would you say that Jordan's the GOAT in basketball?
Yes, I will say that.
Me too. So we'll let the comments decide that. But, you know, I think Jordan and Brady take the GOAT cakes for their sports respectively.
Absolutely.
The fourth favorite card, I'm actually going to, is a duplicate of what we've already done, but it's only a Gem Mint, but it's an Alpha Lotus in Gem Mint 10. And the reason why that one's so special to me, because it was opened here at CGC headquarters.
Oh, yes.
So we had a beta deck that contained Alpha Rares, and one of our clients said, we want to open this deck here at CGC HQ, and I was like, let's do it. So we went through the cards, and sure enough, Alpha Lotus comes out. And I was just floored. I mean, that's the kind of thing that just doesn't happen.
Well, and I'll tell you, I wasn't in with you when you were doing that, but I was in the building, and you know, when I knew when it was pulled because I thought somebody might have been hurt. So the screaming and the yelling, so I realized quickly, oh, they pulled something big, they did.
Yeah, they're pretty much the biggest card you can pull for TCG, bar none. I mean, that's the Halo card there. An Alpha Lotus coming out of a deck. I mean, there's probably only 3 or 4 left that can actually do it in the planet with the amount of sealed product left.
Yeah, and I mean, look, you know, the term pack fresh gets thrown around a lot, but this truly was a pack fresh card.
Even had the smell. I mean, it smelled great, you know. There's just that certain, you know, aroma of 1993 cards, you know, for me at least.
My fourth card is a little quirky one, and that's what I like. I'm a vintage guy. I like the oddball, the rarity, things of that nature. And so my fourth card is the 1952 Topps Jackie Robinson that had a piece of Mickey Mantle card on it as well. So what happened with the card was, you know, these two cards were side by side on the sheet. And with quality control, this was 1952. Topps was really starting to this was their first big set. And so quality, you know, wasn't all there. And so this card, when the sheet was cut, there was a piece of the Mickey Mantle card left on the Jackie Robinson card. So Jackie Robinson 52 Topps, already a wonderful card, one of my favorite cards. But to have a piece of the number 311 Mickey Mantle card on there, it's just really cool. And it's the only one that's ever surfaced that we've ever seen. And, you know, miscuts, especially on vintage, you know, where you have 2 cards showing isn't unheard of. We see that. But when you look at a card like this and you think about it, you have to think to yourself, what other cards are out there? I mean, you know, the T206 Honus Wagner was printed on sheets with all the other cards. So, you know, theoretically, there could be a T206 out there that shows some Wagner on it. You know? That
shows some Wagner. That's pretty cool. I like that. No, I mean, just like, you know, eras like that happen, you know, some of them can be extremely coveted. For my fifth favorite, I'm going to go back to something that was opened again. So this happened on the set of Pawn Stars. So Chum had purchased a beta deck again. This one had Alpha Rares as well. So we purchased the deck, and we opened it right there on the set, and out pops an Ancestral Recall, an Alpha Ancestral Recall, which is part of the Power 9, right alongside the Black Lotus and the Moxes. You know, this recall was beautiful, absolutely stunning. I mean, the reaction, like you said in the hallway when you opened the Lotus, and we were just screaming, oh my God, it's a piece of power. Obviously, the guy who sold Chum the deck was not too pleased, but, you know, it was a great moment, surreal moment, and obviously it got graded here at CGC afterwards, along with the other stuff in the deck as well, but that was cool. That was really cool.
It's always cool to see something like that actually pulled. And knowing the Pawn Star set, how quiet everything is, I can only imagine the screaming.
Oh yeah, it was wild. It was absolutely wild, you know, to see that card come out in that deck. So it was cool.
That's awesome. My final card, number 5 here on the list, is a personal card to me. It has a personal connection. It's the 1910 E104 Nadja Caramels Fred Tenney. And everybody's going, who in the heck is Fred Tenney, right? And you know, in his day was a good player. This was 1910. Obviously now forgotten about and considered a common card. But what makes this card so special is that there's only 3 known of this card. And the E104 set is my personal favorite set. It's a set that I'm building. May never see the end of it. But you know, in 2018, the very first Fred Tenney surfaced. And I had the honor of grading that card at the time. Okay. And since that's a set I collect, a few years later, I was actually able to obtain that card in my collection.
Wow.
So of the 3, I have graded 2 of them. And so it's just really cool to see, you know, a set that's, you know, 110 plus years old.
Sure.
And there's still cards surfacing from it. That's how rare this set is. And so, you know, that's one of those things I'll never forget the day the submission came in and then saw that card and went, wow, what are the odds? You know, and it literally just came in on submission. Nobody previously contacted or anything. It just showed up, and so just that special moment of going, well, there's number 3 that just surfaced.
Wow.
That was really cool for me.
No, that's cool. Like sets like that, like when you say like the collectibles industry, stuff like that coming out of the weeds, so to speak, it's always fun to see.
You talked about 5 cards. I talked about 5 cards. We're here because of 5 million cards, and you know, even outside those 5 million, you and I've seen a lot of cards, you know, outside of those as well. And so, I mean, we could sit here all day and talk about favorite cards. But you know, this is a really special thing. It's a really cool thing to be able to say, you know, we've graded 5 million cards CGC, and it's awesome. And I really can't wait for what the future holds.
No, I mean, I just can't wait for the next 5 million that we grade. I mean, we have an amazing team, a lot of solid people in the operation here. There's a lot of good stuff going on with this brand, and I'm really excited to be a part of it. I think you are as well, and the future's bright. The future's very bright with CGC Cards.
And we want to thank you for trusting us and submitting your personal and your favorite cards to us. You know, we're collectors as well. We geek out on cards just as much as anybody does. And so, you know, if you have something really special, it comes in the door, it's probably special to us as well, and we love seeing it. So thank you so much for giving us the opportunity to grade 5 million cards, and we look forward to definitely more.
No, for sure.
Thank you for 5 million.